Good evening and welcome to the December 16th, 2021 meeting of the Grafton Mass Disability Commission. I'm Roger Trahan, Chair of the Commission, and I call this meeting to order at 6:35, actually 6:36 p.m. And as a preliminary matter, please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Christy Proctor.
Here.
Bob Berger.
Bob Berger, present.
Catherine Dorr.
Here.
Laura Deneen.
Here.
And Daryl Reining and Rob Paulsonelli were unable to attend tonight. And anticipated speakers on the agenda, there are none. And this open meeting of the Grafton Disability Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, and subsequent extension of June 16, 2021. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth, due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted to the town's website at www.grafton-ma.gov, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Grafton Disability Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom as reflected on our agenda, which is posted on our commission's webpage on the town website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along and using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda, but before doing so, please permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. We never do this, but I still need to read this. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Lastly, for items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. The chair will first read public comments and questions received in advance of the meeting, followed by real-time board and/or applicant responses. For the record, there are none tonight. Public comments during the meeting will be conducted through the chat feature in Zoom, and the chair will read real-time comments and questions typed by computer participants in the chat feature, followed by real-time board and applicant responses. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. I hate having to read that, but it's a requirement. Announcements. I will take this opportunity. Hold on one second. All right, under announcements, I am going to take out of order an old business item regarding status of grant applications and move it up to announcements to announce that the Mass Office on Disability awarded in the amount of $23,331.25 part of the amount we had requested along with Beth Galloway, the library director. Christy Proctor was one of the applicants of that grant, and that was for assistive technology for those who have blindness or low vision. So that's a great win. And we can at some point discuss backfilling the remaining 29,000. What the state did not do is include in the award amount the software. So it's hardware, but even though it requires software to run, the software, I guess maybe it's part of the rules regarding grants, was not part of that award. So that's our first, I think as a commission, that's our first award that we've participated in that, you know, we've been used to hearing no. So that was a good win.
And Roger, can you say the amount again, please?
23,000. Hold on a second. It was $23,331.25.
Thank you.
So that I think needs to be expended by the end of the fiscal year. So it's once we follow a strict set of guidelines that the money is given to us, so we have to front the work and such. But along with those announcements, unfortunately, the school district did not get the 2 grant requests for the ADA self-evaluation costs, nor the South Grafton Elementary School playground requests for improvements. So that's all I have under announcements. Does anyone have anything else, either regarding the grant award or any other item? Okay.
I would just like to add, because I'm looking at old business, I would just like to report that the Grafton Celebrates the Holidays included an invitation to request accommodation in its flyer and its website.
Oh, all right. And I participated in a few of the things, and it was a nice day. And under other announcements, I guess, sort of related to my first announcement, is that the ribbon cutting ceremony for the public library will occur and is open to all tomorrow, Friday, December 17th at 11 a.m. at the Center Library. So that I'm going to try to make it. It's going to be a nice mild day, and I'm working from home. So any other announcements, anyone? Okay. And external correspondence, I did not have any that was directed toward to the Disability Commission. Moving on then to meeting minutes. I will take a motion to approve the meeting minutes of November 18th, 2021.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as written.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Okay. Motion made by Bob to approve the minutes, seconded by Catherine. Any discussion on the motion? Okay. I just had a couple of small items.
Well, we knew that.
Of course. If you, on the 4th page of the minutes that start with parking fines account, if that could include that the balance was shown to be $700. And then beneath that, the Grafton Common Select Board change order, I just guess for the record, if we had discussed that the change order was in the amount of $114,480, 114,480.
Roger, I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry. You said page 4, right?
Page 5. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
After the pictures, I'm sorry. Page 5. So the parking fines account balance was shown to be 700.
Okay. I'm working off what I sent you. I didn't get back one with pictures. I apologize.
Okay. You know what ended up happening? Oh, yeah, okay. I'm looking at my copy of my PDF. And so where I inserted the pictures. And so I guess you'll submit those though with the pictures, right?
Right, if you can send that to me.
Okay.
If it's a PDF, I can't edit it.
No, but what I could do is I could maybe combine the pictures at the end maybe, or somewhere in there. I could combine the pictures at the end, and I could combine 2 PDF documents into one.
Okay,
And then, yeah, for the the Grafton Common amount is 114,480 on the change order.
Okay.
And then lastly, under old business, no, pardon, under new business, under the Mass Office on Disabilities webinar, if you could add somewhere that, I know Catherine, you had spoken to it, but that Rob Paulsonelli and Bob Berger also attended that. We had acknowledged that in the meeting, just so it's on record that there were 3 committee attendees.
under old business,
No, new business.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said old business by mistake. The first
No,
item on
that's
new
okay.
business. So,
Yes.
so
Oh,
maybe at
right.
the end, commission members, Rob Paulsonelli and Robert Berger. What do you go by, Bob? Officially,
I'll put that in.
you know, committee members Paulsonelli and Berger also attended or something. So, and then underneath the next item, Demystifying Disability by Emily Ladow.
Mhm.
Is that the spelling of her name? Did we spell out her name, or was that a phonetic guess? I didn't know whether, didn't recall whether the person referenced in the webinar as a presenter.
I did end up emailing everyone the name and the author's
Yeah.
name. So
And
okay.
I looked her up
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Oh, all right, cool. All
right
right,
after the meeting, I had sent it to the group email address.
all right, awesome.
I'll double check. I'm pretty sure I still have it right here,
All right,
but
all right, and that's all I have for recommended changes. Does anyone else object to those change recommendations?
Oh, they're fine.
All right, and does anyone have any discussion on the motion to approve the minutes?
yes, it's correct.
Okay, all right, hearing no discussion, all those in favor by roll call: Christy Proctor,
Aye.
Bob Berger,
Aye.
Catherine Dorr,
Aye.
Roger Trahan, aye, and Laura Deneen, I will ask for an
Abstain.
affirmative abstain, yes.
Mhm.
All right, by a vote of 4-0 and 1 abstention, I declare the motion carried. Okay. Project updates and general updates. The Grafton Library, we discussed the grant award and the ribbon cutting. Anything happening since our last meeting, Christy, about the library that's noteworthy, as far as there haven't been any subcommittee meetings, or has that been
Nope.
talked about? That will they eventually disband? Like how long does that committee?
Until the money's spent. That's what I'm gonna assume, unless
Okay.
unless Bob has any other, but usually it's when you close the books.
Okay.
And the project's still not complete. They're
Right.
still waiting on product.
Okay. Okay, I was just taking a note. All right, and next, Eagle Trail behind the Center Library. We had talked about that in the past, and there've been some back and forth recently. I know, Bob, you were included in that, and our town administrator, Evan Broussard, is at some point going to address that. It's my understanding that there was, he was waiting for that volunteer work and other things to be complete, which it appears that the volunteer work has, ended. And I see that there's a sign up there that recognizes that it's open to the public. So, Bob, is there anything you do in your role proactively, or just maybe as a committee member to, I don't know, as far as, I know we spoke of the possibility of just taking a wait and see, but it's my understanding that, there's some proactive plan that will be rolled out at some point in the near future, I hope. What's your understanding, Bob?
I don't know where the project is with Evan on his list.
Mhm.
I will probably have to circle around back to him
Okay,
and find out what his plans are to make it compliant for ADA,
right,
100% compliant for ADA, because I think he wants the volunteer work to be done. And then
Right.
I think in the email, he said he was going to pick up the pieces after that.
Right.
So let's see what he's going to do.
okay,
And then I'll report back to the committee, hopefully on our next meeting, but I can't promise anything, but put it on the agenda.
okay, yeah, I'll do that. And one of the interesting things, and this happened with the Grafton Land Trust, is that a lot of times things slow down as far as the number of potential people that could or would use a particular trail kind of wanes in the wintertime. So that may give us a little bit of time to sort of discuss what the next steps are going to be. So,
Now, but Roger, I think the difference between us and the Grafton Land Trust is we weren't the owners of the Grafton Land Trust
This
in
is-
that
this is
particular
true.
in
Yes.
that particular project.
I agree. And that's a big distinction here, especially with the curb cut right at the outset. So, Christine.
So please understand, I don't mean to speak out of turn here, but in the municipal grant that we received for the library, the parking lot is only to be used for library patrons. So if people wanted to come together and hike that trail, they're not going to be allowed to park in the parking lot. There's going to need to be signage that if you choose to hike, you need to park someplace else.
Are you talking
Library
about the
events-
main grant to the library?
Yes, and that's a state, that's state compliance that we're going to need to adhere to. So if you want to hike, you're not parking back there. Of course, I don't know that, I mean, Beth doesn't want to be the parking police, but there needs to be very clear signage that to hike, you can't park there.
Okay.
And I don't know why this wasn't explored before this all went through. It seems like there was a lot of, no one really checked with a lot of things. This has not been thorough. And unfortunately, in my opinion, we have not set this young woman up for success. And I think it's terrible that we're opening something that's not accessible.
Right. And
And
I'm
we
in
know
agree-
about it.
yeah,
We know about
know.
it and we're allowing it to happen.
I know. And I'm in agreement with you. I think that that a lot of times these things, I was surprised at how quickly the agreement by the select board was just kind of hopped on board. I think they saw potential, but as far as I'm concerned, phase one of an unfinished project is now behind us. Okay, that's just my opinion. So the fact that there's signage there, there shouldn't be signage here. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a finished accessible project. It's one that's in process. But anyway, so Bob, you'll double back with Evan?
Well,
All right, thank you. All right, and closed captioning. All right, here we are visiting this again. And back on the 19th of November, I did a closed captioning test with Bob DeToma, and then again this morning to see if other people, multiple people could see the closed captioning. Okay, so I did that with Bob DeToma this morning, and shout out to the last minute accommodations to my niece Olivia Dauphiné and friend Brooke Paget. So Olivia and Brooke, thank you for helping do that Zoom closed captioning test. And So it seemed to work okay as far as there's a lot of words that are not captured correctly unless you actually, I guess you can create a library of words or proper nouns or things that may be frequently spoken to. But even then, I'm not sure. I think there will be things that are missed, but it's better than not having anything. Anyone have any comments or updates or any opinion on closed captioning?
This is Laura. I think that what we have is certainly, like you said, Roger, better than nothing. I mean, this is typical, right? So we use closed captioning all the time within our house. And there's always words missed, et cetera, but you can at least have that accessibility of figuring out and understanding what actually is being said by, utilizing those closed captioning. So I'm happy to see that these things are up and being utilized even in the Zoom right now.
Right. Right now, though, what I am seeing on my end is just one run-on conversation without knowing who the speaker is. And so normal conversation, that isn't the reality. On the flip side, it may be difficult to try to shrink each speaker's words into their own boxes and then try to follow the back and forth. So I don't know if there's any perfect solution at this time.
If you look in transcript view, it will sometimes identify which person is speaking.
Okay.
So right
Okay.
now it is, well, actually it has me under your name, but it shows in the transcript, it has an idea of who's speaking. So,
Okay, so it's my lack of technical know-how that I make that comment. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it definitely is in the transcript for sure.
yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, hold
And-
on. Oh, wait a minute, before we run away from this subject.
Sure.
So I have some information.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Grafton Oversight, we have researched what it's going to take to put it on our production, so it's not on Zoom, and we're putting it in our budget for next year. And it's really not that big of money. It's like $40,000 to upgrade our equipment to make it work, so we can have it. The only drawback is it only does English right now. But again, this is just little steps. So we have that in our budget, and hopefully July, the town people will say, okay, we approve your budget. I don't see how they can say no, because this is not coming out of taxpayers' money. It's coming out of cable money, which is the 5%.
Okay. And is it one station or three? We're starting with one?
It's all of them. It's
Oh,
all
it's
of them.
all of them.
It's
Okay.
all of them. So it's everything that we wanted to do, except it's only in English.
That's
Now
great.
I have a meeting set up with the town moderator for the next up and coming town meeting. And I haven't had any conversation with her yet, but I'm anticipating on what she is looking for. And this is what we're going to do for our next town meeting. We're going to have a live person there to do sign language. It's going to be a 2-camera shoot. And we're going to have one camera concentrating on the person that's doing the sign language. And then the other camera is going to be doing, the town meeting.
Okay.
And then when you see it on TV, you're not going to see the signer. But when we rebroadcast, we're going to superimpose the camera 2 onto camera 1 in a square. So that's how we're going to get through that for right now until we upgrade the equipment in the studio to actually put on the closed caption. So that's what I wanted to report to this committee about closed caption.
Thank you, Bob. That's excellent news. That's light years ahead of what I would have actually expected this soon. Thank you for that update. That's awesome. And so is the playback, Bob, going to be then the superimposed of the moderator or the speakers, the signer, and closed captioning?
No, closed caption we can't do.
Okay.
Because we just don't have the capability in the studio. I mean, we're not doing a Zoom meeting. We're doing it with our equipment, our production equipment. So the
even
closed
in
caption is
editing,
out.
so even after the fact, there's no editing capacity to edit in closed captioning?
No, because we don't have it.
Okay. Okay, all right. And so the meetings will be, so rather than a Zoom meeting, let's say for our meeting, we would not go through Zoom, we would go through.
No,
GCTV?
no. Well, with this pandemic going on, we're gonna go through Zoom. And
Right.
Zoom is going to have closed caption the way it is right now.
Okay,
But when you rebroadcast it, you just lost that closed caption.
right,
But with the new equipment that we're gonna purchase, that closed caption is not gonna be from Zoom, it's gonna be from our equipment. So then when
Okay.
we rebroadcast, now you're gonna use our closed caption, not Zoom's.
okay. So is room A and is it F or G?
Room
Right.
A is Zoom. And, well, wait a minute, let me hear your question.
No, as far as, if and when this pandemic, is behind us and we go back to in-person meetings, okay?
Mhm.
And whether or not that includes a Zoom component for accessibility purposes that we see currently with the select board. Is this particular program, is that connected then to the conference rooms that are TV ready?
Yeah. they
And
are.
that's room A and room F.
F, that's right.
Now, is room G, was that the finance committee's room? And was that,
No, finance committees, yes.
okay, so was there talk of budget money or somehow getting money to add additional technical capacity to make a third room?
No,
Okay,
no.
so
no,
right now
no,
this
but
is
we
two
do,
rooms.
but what we just bought, or the town just bought, is this owl. And if the owl might just be a Zoom. But if we had owl, we might be able to use our equipment to put closed captioning in that.
Okay. Okay. This is progress, and I can't imagine that because it's user fees, it's not really, I mean, it's not coming out of the tax base, so I can't see
No.
how it would be controversial.
Well,
One of-
well, just to add on to that, the cable's budget last year was, I think, 335,000, and that was a warrant article.
Sure.
So this year, the cable's budget, I'm presenting it next Monday at the Cable Oversight Committee, I think is going to be as high as 450,000, which
Okay.
is a warrant article. So it's
Okay.
not really even, it's not even in the budget.
Okay.
And then the townspeople might ask, well, where's this money coming from? And that's where we always say it's coming out of the 5%.
Okay. And I will add to that as we start looking at, and I don't know if maybe the start will be the end of January's tentative town meeting, that as a disability commission, or however we end up potentially renaming ourselves, that we dive into warrant article recommendations that pertain to accessibility in the same way that we see finance committee or planning board piping in. And so, if, to the extent that these monies pertain to enhanced accessibility, I think it'll be appropriate at that time in advance of town meeting for us to make a committee recommendation, and even speak on town meeting floor in favor of this. So anyway, right, any other updates?
Can I just ask
Yeah,
quickly,
please.
Bob,
Please.
just for my understanding? So it will be a warrant article because of the cost, correct?
No,
Okay.
it's a warrant article because of the Mass General Law probably 5 years ago. All the cable oversight committees throughout the country have to have town meeting declare how much money they're going to spend.
Oh,
That way they're not, they're not stealing from Peter to pay for an expansion on some other building that doesn't have anything to do with cable or public access.
Oh, no, thank you for explaining, because I thought this was deemed an above and beyond expense, and that's why it was a warrant article. So thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Right. Okay, agenda item 5, Christy Proctor, and while Rob Paulsonelli is not here tonight, the subcommittee regarding the Disability Commission charge. And I will have you, Christy, roll
you
with
can-
this.
Yeah, if you can allow me to share the screen, please.
Oh, how do I do that? Share screen. All panelists. Who can start it? All panelists. Okay,
And
I think
because-
that's good.
Okay, because we're not all here, I'm not sure if we're even going to be allowed to really think or vote on this, but let's go through this. Okay, here we go. Disability Commission charge. Okay, here it is. Okay. So Rob worked on this more than I did, to be honest with you. I think that we did take everyone's suggestions and try to do a little more finessing of this document. We did layer in some more information that comes from some of the comments made, as well as to make sure we're including the language from the state Office of Disability. So, and once again, there's 2 options. Option 1 and option 2. You'll see that we did add in red the compliance with relevant state and laws, but I feel like, you know, I apologize. I feel like we should have kind of looked at this in advance so that everybody would have had a chance to really look at this. Let me see if I can pull up. I was thinking, Roger, if I should try to email this to everybody so everybody can look at this separately.
Okay, that would be useful.
But at the same time, I feel like we need to wait to have everyone kind of take a look at it. Again, language is very, very similar. We're not suggesting we change it at this time. It's just changing the charge. But we would, and maybe possibly at this town meeting, if we're able to change the charge, also bring forward the name change as well, as we think about what we want to kind of be marketed or branded, or what.
Well,
really...
the select, but town meeting doesn't vote on the name. The select board is the group that is responsible for any changes to the name or the charge.
So
They're
we
the
can
appointing
possibly
authority.
bring this forward as soon as possible once we approve this, correct? So this
Sure,
might be
sure.
done in March,
Yeah, at a select board meeting, sure.
right? Okay, so again, option 2, it's pretty much a refresh. It's not just tweaking a little language. It's really using more, as I say, a more liberal and progressive, inclusive language. And I think it's best for us possibly to be looking at this over the next month, looking at this side by side and really taking this all in, because I know it's a lot to look at on a screen. And it's hard to do this, side by side. So just please know we're working on this.
No, I appreciate all the hard work. I know that these technical matters, it's not easy work. It's a lot to digest. And the thing is that it's not only, it's making sure that we get across what we're looking to get across while not ignoring the mandates that are outlined in the state law, the Mass General laws. So, and then blending
And I think we're
those.
trying to be specific about some things that were kind of general before. And again, I think it goes back to, as a group, we need to decide, are we going to operationalize this as more of a, we'll provide technical assistance as consultants, or are we going to be a little more, let's roll up our sleeves and get involved with things. So again, that's kind of a discussion for the larger group. So
Right.
So
And
I'll
I
just,
think it becomes difficult for a committee. We're one of those committees that, I mean, we're not day to day, folks right now. I mean, I know Bob, you are, but you would otherwise be regardless of your committee membership, doing accessibility related things. But it's tough for a committee to do a whole lot more than being advisory, but I think that we also have the flexibility, excuse me, to sort of, when needed, make our opinion be known less softly than at other times. So when we see things that really we think shouldn't be happening, but I will look at that side by side. I hadn't looked at it recently. I looked at it more closely shortly after our last meeting, and I think that maybe this is an invitation for all of us not only to look at it between now and then, but also to really refresh ourselves no more than a day or two before the next meeting, so it's fresh in our minds. I feel that a lot of my ideas or anything like that kind of went by the wayside because I really didn't take notes. So I'm kind of useless when it comes to my input. All those thoughts floated out of my brain because it was almost a month ago and I didn't take notes on this. The other thing I would add is regarding the name, it seemed to be either or, Disability Commission or Accessibility Advisory Commission or what have you. And I didn't know whether it would be too much of a mouthful and maybe too much to include those, to say accessibility and disability advisory. Whether it would be clearer to have one or the other and not blend the two, because I don't want, I guess there wouldn't be any risk of disability related terms and matters being eliminated because of the state mandate and they use specific terms regarding disability. So were we leaning more toward accessibility? I think we were, as far as the title. Yeah. And I tend to go that way, as long as the charge specifically is specific enough that it doesn't go too far off the base of what the state really is looking at minimum for us to do and how they explain it, even though the state wording is kind of not the best. So, but we can't ignore it. We have to roll with it. So. Anyway, anyone have any other comments other than that we'll all agree to look at this in your emailing this to us? All right, thank you.
I'll send this to you right now, Roger.
All right. So through the commission email, right? Disability Commission group email.
Okay.
Everyone's been receiving those things. The thing is that I can't tell if I'm sending something to you and I'm sending it through the group email. The only way you can tell is that I use the salutation, "Good evening, fellow Disability Commission members." Otherwise, you would get something and you would think it's coming from me, right? It gets kind of confusing who the audience is. Like I want to make sure that if for some reason I'm getting something that really should be distributed to everyone else, that I know it is distributed to everyone else. So as you're typing right now, Christy, through the Disability Commission at graftonma.gov, I think it's going to end up showing what from you. And
Let's find out. I'm sending it right now.
Okay.
Disability Commission at grafton.ma.gov. Here it comes. No message. I mean, no content, just the attachment. Let me know if you get it.
Okay.
Yep, I got it. Oh, it says undeliverable.
Yeah, you know what? That happened before with Dave Robbins when he was sending that item regarding open space. But all right, I mean, you have each of our individual emails, right?
Yeah,
I know
I'm
I
just-
do.
I'm just gonna check the website and make sure. I'm on the Grafton Town website really quick.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
All right.
I'm just seeing if anything's going on. I'm surprised our website information or our email information isn't on the website.
I thought it was. So Disability Commission at grafton-ma.gov.
I didn't put in the hyphen. Here we go.
Okay.
Disability hyphen.
No. Disability Commission at grafton-ma.gov. So the hyphen is
that's
between the
okay.
Grafton and the MA.
Okay, I know everybody's waiting with bated breath. So thank you for being patient.
It's like waiting for my Keno numbers.
Okay. Let's see if it goes.
And
through
then
now.
we'll just agree to review this.
I just have to wait. I'm just watching my
Alright.
phone because it will come in my phone first.
I got nothing.
I got nothing either.
I have it.
I got it.
I have it. It came from Christy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I just
Oh,
got it
and I
too.
see 2 Disability Commission. So I see the 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I know that it was sent through the group. I just want to make sure that everyone is on equal footing regarding communications that would be useful for the next meeting. All right, awesome. So we're all in agreement that we'll review this and come with some brainstorming.
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
cool. All right. All right, we ready to move on to old business? Okay. Mentioned the status of grant applications. I talked about those at the top of the meeting. So library and then the 2 school ones unfortunately didn't occur. So the next item, school district ADA self-evaluation and transition plan. I guess I'd been back and forth with our superintendent, Jay Cummings, and school committee chair, Amy Marr. And that ADA self-evaluation, the end product should be coming to us in early 2022. They've done all of the facilities and buildings evaluation. They've done the visits is what I meant to say. So the end product should be sometime in early 22 at our fingertips. Now, that I will mention goes hand in hand with grant applications. I think the state was particularly impressed with the detail of the library grant, that it had specific items and pricing and was, I guess, for lack of a better term, contract ready versus the sort of estimates that may occur without a specific vendor not having weighed in with a price list or even an estimate. Those were internal estimates. And but as far as the ADA eval that didn't get funded, I'm thinking, I mean, if I was on the MOD side of things, I'd be like, well, they're already doing it and it must be funded. Why, why fund it with a grant? And I think one of the things too is that if you look carefully at the grant verbiage and the documents, the state won't pay for anything that has already been invoiced before the signatures by the town officials, whether that be the town administrator or the select board. So if anything would have been invoiced before the award, it would be null and void. And the only really invoice for the ADA self-eval, I would think, would be just like one invoice. I don't think it's ever invoiced like piecemeal, but so I say this, that I think the schools will be on better ground as we actually look at the data and look at the estimates and the pricing and look at how the self-evaluation prioritizes things, and to allow us to be more specific and put something together next year. So so that's all I have to say about that. And so I kind of was like beating the following to death. I emailed Jay and I was like, they're going to have it in Excel, right? And so that was part of the RFP process, but it's just making darn sure that right out of the gate, the school district wasn't facing what we faced in trying to take a Word document and put it into Excel. I know Catherine, you and Matt, had the subcommittee going on, and that was not the funnest thing to address that technical issue. So I look forward to that document being in place soon. And then old business closed captioning, we really, I just realized I had that twice on the agenda. I had it under old business and project updates. Oh, well. All right, any other old business? I will mention that, and I'll be candid, I only did it today. I emailed Evan regarding the idea of having separate training that is accessibility related, in addition to any other trainings and such that any other municipal staff have. And I kind of left it broadly worded to say, we can discuss this in the near future. And what I did is I attached the webinar PowerPoint deck from November as an example of the type of training that could occur. So, and then the other thing that I did.
Wait a minute. Sometimes you go a little too fast, Roger.
Yeah.
When we're talking about training for accessibility, I don't know if our committee is aware that I'm also the founder and the past president for 15 years of the Metro West Building Officials. And with that being said, I put on seminars 10 times a year, and some of them are on MAAB.
Okay.
And I don't know if we're going to be going online with webinars, but if I have any training, this group is invited to attend any of my trainings.
All right. So is that through the other organization or through the town?
It's through my organization.
Okay.
Metro West Building Officials.
Okay. So is that like a nonprofit? Is that a state organization?
No, it's mine. It's mine. It's a 501(c)(3).
Okay. Okay. All right. No, that's good information, because it only enhances that which may otherwise be available at the state level, that the more content and stuff we can get out in front of people, the better. So
yeah, I'm probably gonna put something on maybe in March or April.
Okay.
For handicap accessibility.
Okay. All right. Awesome. See, I did not know that. You wear many hats.
I have to cover this head of hair.
There you go. All right. And then I also left a message for one of the assistant attorney generals at the state level. Actually, it's at the end of the webinar PowerPoint from last meeting. Ann Lynch, who's the Disability Rights Coordinator / Assistant AG, Civil Rights Division. I actually left her a voicemail message, but I'll email her as a follow-up. I was overdue on that. We discussed at our last meeting the idea of whether that webinar had embedded closed captioning in it for rebroadcast. So I'll double back with her, and I'm hoping the answer is yes. And if it is, we can get that in a closed captioning format on GCTV. So I'll let you know how that goes. Anyone else have any other old business? Okay. And all right, 2021 Disability Commission. All right, so now we're on new business. 2021 Disability Commission report for the Grafton Annual Town Report. Here we are, that time of year again. And now I've done the last two. I did the 2019 and 2020. I'm okay with doing it again. I'm ready, willing, and able, but I'm not going to be a ball hog either. I don't want to take that opportunity from anyone that may be pining to type away and do this 2021 report. Any comments?
Why don't you do a first draft and let us all take a look?
All right, sounds good.
Yep, I agree.
Yep, yeah, and that's what we did last year. All right, cool. I will get on that. Okay, Grafton Open Space and Recreation Plan. I guess the bulk of our meeting packet was the 36 pages that were attached to the 12/1/21 memo from the Open Space and Recreation Committee to various town boards and committees, and reviewing responsibilities for action items. And what I did is I included a link to their committee documents. They have a number of documents for Open Space and Recreation Committee. And within this, David Robbins, who's the chair of the committee, had sent out this memo / combined memo and document that had to do with the 2020 revised Grafton Open Space and Recreation Plan that includes a grid regarding roles, action items, objectives, partners, priorities, and timing. Now, I will say that when I took a quick look at this, although the various partners are listed as various boards and committees, most of which, except one, don't include us, I see where accessibility could be infused into many of these. And I will also say that in looking at this document, page 26 of the document, and I don't know if you can pull that up, anyone, Christie, or?
Yeah, I can try.
All right, the only place I saw Disability Commission listed as a partner, and that's why we were on the receiving end, is at the very bottom of page 26. And what it was develop a map or other tool that identifies and prioritizes areas underserved by recreation facilities and other gaps, with the objective being expand facilities and opportunities into underserved areas to ensure equitable access for all residents. That's the only place that Disability Commission is listed as being a partner. But what's interesting is if you go to,
Is it this
no,
one?
no, it's not the Open Space and Recreation Plan. It's actually our meeting packet.
No, I clicked on it and it brought me here.
No. Okay, and I probably confused the issue
So, yeah,
where.
so I was here when I went and
Okay.
clicked.
All right,
Oh,
so
I know what you mean. Nope, don't worry.
yeah,
Hold
so
on. Hold
there are the
on.
documents. Yeah, so you'll go to our meeting packet
Hold on.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
sorry.
apologize for the confusion.
Nope,
I
I
think
got it.
you may see, or someone else looking at our meeting packet may think that link is to the document I'm discussing tonight. And so it's actually page way at the almost on the bottom right. Is it page 27, 36? I'm not even sure.
Here it is. I got it.
All right,
I'll
so
make-
if you,
I'll see if I can make it a little bit larger for everybody.
so the page 26 would be at the bottom right. And at the bottom left, it's page 27 of 36.
Okay, let me go down a little bit more. Because I'm in something, Grafton, here it is, the action plan. Starting with prioritized land acquisitions.
It says,
Grafton
all right,
wetlands.
if you look at partners, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th column,
Yeah,
it's at the very bottom of one of the pages. That column says Disability Commission.
oh, I thought you wanted to go through the whole thing.
It's
No,
page
no, no.
49 of the meeting packet.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my goodness, we're so way off. Okay,
Yeah, so
here we go.
that
Thank you,
was-
Catherine.
thank you, Catherine. So I'm not, so what happens is that I'm simply sharing that the reason why we were the recipient is because we were one of the listed partners. Okay. But what's interesting is right above it, if you look at that block, where
I know this-
conservation is the partner, but it's the same thing. Improve access for all ages and user groups within the population. It includes the word.
And up here too. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yes, and I noticed that point that you just put your cursor to on that page. So that's just one
Right here.
page. Right.
Yeah, the
And
word
so-
access is used 21 times in the document. So
Oh, I didn't know you could, oh, you could search that, huh?
I'm on the original one, the original PDF that we were sent, and I,
Okay.
did a control F for access, and it's listed 21 times.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay. Thank you, Catherine, for your expertise, because I'm a technical, I'm just kind of out there when it comes to tech. And so the word search is a great tool. And so
It's a superpower.
there you go. So basically, as chair, David Robbins said, the Open Space and Recreation Committee has proposed an assignment of lead and supporting roles for the various agencies listed as responsible parties in the action plan in the recently updated Open Space and Recreation Plan. And then he ends that second paragraph on the December 6th email, referring to the attached memo for details. The committee requests that your respective boards, commissions, committees, department, and organizations review the proposed assignments and return your comments, suggestions, and recommendations to the committee and he leaves it's osrcommittee@grafton-ma.gov. So I'm not prepared, nor am I suggesting that we dig into this document, other than they put a ton of time into this document. It's not just fluff, but at the same time, I think they may not be appreciating how much we are really a partner, so to speak, in this, where we're only listed once. So maybe in a broader sense, maybe a sort of statement may be in order at some point to him through that email address to say, here's where we think your focus should be at the outset of any discussion or project regarding accessibility, without us necessarily needing to do hand-holding on every initiative in town.
Why don't we just offer to partner with them?
Yeah,
And I mean, they have to be in that realm. I mean, they're doing the same thing as the library. Everything has to be accessible that they're doing.
right. It's true.
I actually have to correct myself. The word access is used 51 times in that document.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the phrase that improve access for all ages and groups is used 14 times.
Oh, wow. Okay,
So those 14 items are possibly within our purview too. So
okay. Thank you, Catherine. So it becomes a huge document. I don't think it's within our capacity to attempt to infuse ourselves into their role in extracting all of these items and prioritizing them and making them actionable. But at some point, maybe not tonight, we can come up with some type of communication, whether by vote or by consensus, to share with them that here's how we, we think we may partner, with at least some specifics. Or do we want to be overly broad? I don't know. Anyone have any opinion on this? I mean, I threw it out here because, they've done a lot of work. We're listed as a recipient and they're asking for some type of feedback. So I don't think we'll be last in line in providing feedback if we tackle this next month or even in February. These are 10-year plans. So I'm not suggesting we foot drag, but I'm not saying that there's some strong deadline that if we don't provide them feedback, that something bad will happen. They're just starting this process. So if everyone's up to the task of at least reviewing this document, the actual open space and rec plan is god awfully long. I don't know, about 100 and something, 150 or more pages. It's pretty long. But at least if everyone could look at how this committee has summarized the action plans and maybe think of some areas where we could infuse our assistance. So, all right. So anyone have any comments on this particular document and email, other than
So you-
deferring to January,
want-
February?
Okay, I was just gonna ask January or February. Let's pick one.
All right, maybe February. I think we're tackling our charge. And I think this is a pretty significant document to be tackling as we're trying to tackle and not put off too much our recommendations regarding changing our charge. So maybe defer to February, while all of us kind of digesting a little bit, or looking at that summary, how they've listed this accessibility. Thanks, Catherine, for recognizing that, those areas. Now, what do? I go Control F, then I do a search word.
Yeah, you can just put Control F and type in the word you want and it'll show you every instance of that word. It should.
Okay.
I'm using it in Chrome. I don't know if you're using it in a different program or something, but within a browser, you should be able to just do Control F and find something.
Okay. All right. And any other new business? I can't think of anything. And I'll be candid with you. Once a night comes, I'm so spent. I don't know about everyone else, whether it's just, I look at a computer all day long. I'm a desk guy. Not that I'm not poor sad me, but maybe in the morning I'd be sharper and would think of some items, but I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're rolling along well as a committee, even if we don't, we can't be everything to everyone. So no other new business items. Did I miss any part of the agenda? I just want to make sure. No. All right. All right, next meeting, our regular meeting will be January 20th, 22. I'm not up for a workshop in between now and then. Is anyone groveling for a workshop?
No,
No, nor am I. All right. All right, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, motion made by Bob to adjourn, second by,
I'll second.
all right, is that Laura?
It is.
All right, motion made by Bob, seconded by Laura to adjourn. All those in favor by roll call. Christie,
Aye.
Bob.
Bob, anybody have a happy holidays?
All right, thank you. Catherine,
Aye.
Laura.
Laura Denine, aye.
Great. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Did I miss anyone? All right, so I have Christie, Bob, Catherine, Laura. Roger Trahan, aye. All right, I declare the motion carried 5-0. This meeting is adjourned at 7:40 PM.